Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending our meeting tonight. We are going to go ahead and get started and call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Trustee Shaquana is going to do the roll call and take the minutes for us tonight. So, Trustee Davis, can you start with roll call, please?
Sure, thank you. Bowman?
Present.
Kraft?
Present.
I'm present. Garrett?
Present, ma'am.
Gross?
Present.
Hannah? Present. Well said.
Thank you. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any questions or concerns regarding the agenda? Trustee Garrett?
Yes, ma'am. I have 4 agenda items I would like to add to the agenda to be placed, if approved, under the regular working agenda under items 2 and 3, starting at B for each one, B under each section, discussion and action. The first one would be board organization, executive seats. The second would be board retreat dates added to the calendar. We can just have that for discussion, ma'am, not action.
Okay.
Board communications to Pontiac School District staff and students. This was in regards to the letter written by a representative from Cause and Effect and sent to the PSD staff and students.
Okay. Board communication.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had one more.
Actually, I have 2 more, I'm sorry. Negotiation with, not negotiation, but email that was sent to me on June 26th. And we can just have a discussion around that. And then I would also like to talk about the Human Resource Department, changing positions after they are approved by the board.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, madam.
What was the second one again? I'm sorry, after board organization, it was, what was?
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Board
It was
retreat date.
Board organization, board retreat dates.
Board retreat.
We could just talk about that for discussion. It doesn't have to be action. Board communication to Pontiac School District staff and students.
Discussion.
Discussion and action. I'll be asking for a rescission of that letter.
And you had another one.
I also had, I'm sorry, the negotiation, not negotiation, I'm sorry, the MEA email that was sent to me on June 26th. Let me know when you're ready for the next one. You got it? And the last one from that is inside the HR department, changing positions after they are approved by the board. And Madam President, this last one, I'm not sure if it's something that we probably would need to go into session about. But that's something that the attorney will have to yield to as a discussion to transfer administrator from paid leave to unpaid leave.
Okay.
And for board organization executive seats, I'm just going for clarity, is keeping you as president, Kevin Gross as vice president, Kiana Bowman as secretary, and Shaquana Davis as treasurer. But after speaking with her, that's not something that she would be able to do. So because Mr. Terry is not here, I don't want to put his job. He told me that he wasn't able to do it, but something may have changed in his schedule. So I don't want to talk about the treasurer's position until he returns back to the meeting.
Okay, well, we'll take one of these at a time. So if we want to amend the agenda
Yes,
to
ma'am.
add under regular working agenda, 2, board organization for
Yes, ma'am.
discussion and for action.
Yes, ma'am. Board retreat dates, that's just for discussion.
Okay,
Board communication to PSD staff and students, the letter that was written by the representative for cause and effect, and I'll be asking for a retraction of that letter.
okay. And then we have the fourth one, which was the email.
The email that
You
was
have
sent
that
on the
noted?
26th, yes.
Trustee Davis Smith, you have that, and then the HR department matter, I have
Yes,
that
ma'am.
as well.
So after, Mr. Garrett has said after approved by board, the HR position thing, I got paid leave, well, he was
Oh,
saying.
discussion to transfer administrator from paid leave to unpaid leave due to the recent information that was sent to the board.
So that was his rationale for bringing up the HR department
Oh, okay.
conversation. So we can take a vote to amend the agenda to add, we'll call this item B, board organization. And then we will add item C, board retreat date for discussion. And we will add item D, the board communication discussion. And you said action. For these, regarding the HR department,
Yes.
I will take into consideration your concern, but I would like to have that conversation with interim superintendent, Dr. Leverett, so that she can make the decision as to how she wants to handle that with the HR department.
Okay, well, as the board, I don't accept your consideration. I just still want it to be voted on. And if we vote on them individually, then people can vote their conscience.
Okay?
And for clarity's sakes, before I even had this conversation brought up, I did speak with Dr. Leverett.
Okay. Well, she's not here, so, but thank you. All right, so can I get a motion to amend the agenda? And we're adding items B, C, and D. It was moved by trustee Gross and supported by trustee Kraft.
So
That's okay.
I wrote that on there, but how do I, like, because this isn't our regular agenda.
Just write it up there, amended agenda.
Okay,
At the top.
thank you.
All right, so it's been moved and supported. And now if we can do roll call.
Kraft,
Yes.
Davis Smith, no. Garrett,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Bowman.
No.
Oh, I
Motion
was supposed to
passed.
say that too? It
Yeah,
moved.
yes, ma'am.
It moved. I'm sorry, do I break that up? Okay.
All right, so the agenda has been amended to include those items for discussion and action under our regular working agenda.
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so now we need to get an approval to approve the amended agenda.
Moved by Garrett.
Approve amended agenda.
Wait a minute.
So just go to the next item.
Yes,
next
so I'm
one.
going to the next one.
Yep, and Garrett has
He
moved.
moved it.
Yep, and trustee Kraft has supported.
Support.
And now we'll do roll call.
Davis Smith, no. Garrett,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yeah.
Bowman.
No.
That passes 4-2.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Kraft.
You didn't call
get
Kraft.
Kraft.
Where's that? Oh. Crap, I got my glasses on too.
Thank you. All right, now that we have an approved working agenda, before we do get started, I do want to take a point of privilege, and I want to make a statement to thank everybody for coming, to joining us for tonight. So despite while you all are here, we appreciate you for showing up. Tonight, we are not here to put on a show. Rather, we are here to address the business of the Pontiac School District. We will not tolerate any form of disrespect, none from the board members nor from our guests. Your presence here, it tells us that you care about our school district, and for that, we say thank you. We need this kind of support on a continuous basis, so if you have children in this school district, we need you here. Your voices matter, and we heard you. Several of us have become aware of some concerns that have been expressed by administration, by staff, and by family, and there were actions that were taken by our previous leadership that appear to have occurred outside of the boundaries of our board policies. Each one of us was elected by you, elected as advocates for our children, and to serve collectively in the best manner and the best interests of this school district. So a couple of weeks ago, this board did what we saw necessary to restore order and to continue to investigate and address the concerns that you have expressed. We have full confidence in this administration, staff, our interim superintendent, Dr. Leverett. She is an exceptional leader. We look forward to her continuing in her role as interim superintendent without unnecessary barriers or interferences. As a board, we don't feel it necessary to engage in day-to-day activities. We have set clear expectations and have made sure that everyone is aware and will be held accountable to perform their job responsibilities. And we will continue to move this district forward. Regarding Superintendent Kelly Williams, it is the school district's policy not to discuss personnel matters. We look forward to sharing a resolution regarding this matter soon. There is a lot of great talent in this school district, and every student in our school district deserves a quality education. And we are here to make sure that they have the best educational opportunity as any other student in this district and outside of this district. So this board is here to make sure that that happens. So if anyone has inquired about the board, has expressed interest or being on this school board, all your information needs to be turned in to Oakland County by July 24th. So if there's a chance, there will be a chance. I saw that several people have filled out forms to make comments. We will give you a chance. We look forward to hearing from you, and we're going to move forward with our agenda. Now, the next order of business, recognition of elected officials. We have those of us sitting here. Are there any elected officials in the audience? Charter Commissioner, Tamika Ramsey, we see you. Any others? We were identifying or acknowledging any elected officials. All right. All right, I would like to make a motion for approval of the consent agenda. Supported by Trustee Bowman. I support. Roll call.
Garrett,
No.
Gross,
No.
Hannah,
Yes.
Terry, oh, sorry. Bowman,
Yes.
Kraft,
No.
Davis Smith, yes.
All right,
That's,
thank you.
okay. What do I put on this three?
I'm sorry, trustee David Smith, was that motion failed?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you for clarity.
So I just put failed?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So moving down to our regular working agenda, Board of Education, reports, CTE logo designs. Our CTE department, they did provide us with logos for our new academies. We had a discussion on this as a board, and the logos that they submitted was for our review. Everybody should have received a copy of it inside of their board packet. All right. Now we're moving down to our 2024-2025 regular board meeting schedule.
Now, questions come to the CTE logo.
CT, sorry. Questions and comments to the CTE design.
So would those designs be final? Like, would those be like the standard design for each one of the academies?
Academies, yes.
Is it, I saw the JROTC one, and I know at CUBE, they were our official partner, and they told us about when using their particular logo, you have to keep the color brand in there. And I didn't see it in that specific one, so can we just make sure we clarify that?
For the ROTC?
Yes, ma'am. If we can just clarify that before we send that out. I do think it's a great thing to identify the particular academies. It gives them their own, kind of own point of pride, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so, but I was just really concerned about that specific one, that's it. Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any comments about the logos? Yes.
The logos look nice, and as far as the JROTC thing, but I would like to see another rendering with that corrected before anything moves forward.
No problem.
You said, what did you say?
In regards to the JROTC and all the crests before we move forward with.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
So
Garrett?
just one more thing. I saw a recent store, a CTE store.
Mm-hmm.
So will these be able to be purchased? I know we're probably giving these to the students as part of their uniform, but would, anyone else who'd be able to outright purchase them? Like they
Purchase
do?
the logos?
Not the logos, the logos that own the shirts. Where were they going? Are they going on
Oh.
polos? Are they going on banners?
They'll be using them for marketing materials.
As a point of privilege,
Yeah.
because the designer is here, if you, Madam Chair, would give her the privilege to come to the podium and speak a little bit about it, for clarity's sake, if you will.
Alicia, do you want to share?
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. So we have not discussed fully where the logos will be able to be purchased. We do know that they will go on the uniform shirts for the students who will be in those programs. So I would need to talk to Mr. Sherman to figure out if these emblems or patches will be available for purchase in the store. And then my other question was, with the JROTC one, does that need to remain the yellow and red? Because I believe that's the,
regular crest colors. Yes, ma'am.
which I think is red and yellow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But it wasn't purchasing of the seal. It was just trying to figure out what would they be on? Would it be on
They will
polo?
be
I know we
on
have
the
other-
polo style shirts that the students will be wearing, and then the students that are in the healthcare will have on the scrubs, and those patches will be on the scrubs for those students.
Okay. And then with the recent BCN deal that we're doing with Nike, will we be able to purchase Nike with those seals, just like our original seal? They'll be able to purchase Nike jogging suits, et cetera, things of that nature as well?
I believe so, but I will verify that with Mr. Sherman
Okay.
when I speak with him.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do
Appreciate
anybody
it.
else have any questions for Alicia regarding the CTE logo design? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're moved down to discussion item A, draft 2024-2025 regular board meeting schedule. In your board package, you did receive a copy of our board meetings. And I do believe we also included our board governance meetings. So as been the tradition of the board, we do have at least 2 meetings scheduled each month. And then we did identify a board governance meetings for each month except for the month of December, which is when we had scheduled to have our board retreats, as well as in the month of May. There will be no board governance because we will have our spring board retreat. So the schedule will be sent out to you if it has not already or is in your mailboxes. But if you need me to tell you what those dates are in terms of board governance, or are the dates that we have for board retreat so that we can get it approved.
So only reason why I would like, I'm sorry.
Yes, trustee
Can I?
Garrett.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Only reason I would like the board governance dates and those board retreat dates is because we switched how we plan national advocacy in December. And so I didn't see them in the original board retreat schedule. And so that was what I meant by wanting to be by discussion.
Okay.
Just to make sure I get those dates. And then the ones for May, those board retreat dates are because we start going into Summer Leadership Institute for the NSBA. And so
Okay.
just trying to coordinate those.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll make sure that Cynthia gets these out. She may have just put it inside of your mailboxes, but
Okay.
for clarity purposes, in December, our board retreat dates are December 11th, December 12th, and December 13th. And the third day is where the board typically meets, just the board only. So during the month of December, we'll have our 2 regular meetings, and then this will take the place of there will not be a board governance during the month of December because of the board retreat. As for May, our spring retreat schedule is May 14th, May 15th, and May 16th. And again, that third day is where the board meets only.
And just one, Madam, if you may. So the board governance dates, those are separate. So it's not August 5th is the regular board meeting, then August 19th is board governance. There are some board governance dates in between those.
We included board
Okay,
governance
awesome.
dates inside
Okay.
of those dates. So
Okay,
yes,
all
you're
right.
correct.
I'll wait till she gets them to me. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I yield to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair?
So since it was, yes. Go ahead, trustee Gross.
Thank you. Traditionally,
Thank you, Madam.
this once approved, Ms. Wright sends this information to our calendar. And that will continue?
Yes, that will
Okay,
continue.
then we can have the dates. As you put it in the
Absolutely.
state. Okay, thank you. That's easier for us to keep track because then it's placed into our
I totally agree.
calendars. Thank you.
All right, so that's it. Now we will move down to discussion item B for board organization.
I'm sorry, Madam. Just point of clarity, you have for
Yeah.
action item A, or you going to do discussions and then action?
We'll do discussions and
Okay.
then
Yes,
action
ma'am.
items.
Okay.
No, we didn't approve it yet. We're going to go through our discussion items first, and then we'll go back and approve our action items. All right, so trustee Garrett?
Okay, thank you. So, man, it's so good to see everybody in here. I wish we could have meetings like this every single Monday. So we had a very exciting meeting on the 26th. What I will not do is turn this board into a circus. And so that's why I want to have this a public discussion and why I put out first of what my recommendation would be. Clearly understand that we were totally surprised by the 26th. There's information in your statement even currently today that kind of put us, or put myself, at an unease, because I don't know what the thought of the board or what this current leadership is thinking about. Because so with that being said, I want to go into to draw more for. So I do believe that you make a great president. We've had our discussions around that. So for me to have some kind of buy-in into today is not to disparage anyone or anything like that. It's just that I would have liked to have had this discussion prior to the 26th, so I at least be able to put that into that information, or put that, at least my 2 cents in it at that point. And it is to have Kevin Gross as vice president, yourself as president, Kenyatta Bowman as secretary if she would take it, and then Treasurer Marcus Terry stated that he didn't have time for the treasurer's positions, which is why we carried on through facilities and finance those particular duties, but I don't want to vote on his position until he comes back, to make sure that that's still something that he, at this point still doesn't have time for it to do, if you may. And that is my motion, or that is the conversation before I put the motion on the floor, madam.
Trustee Kraft.
Get your vote.
My whole take behind this, I come in here not for the politics. There's a lot of people in here just for the politics, for grant money, and all the wrong reasons to be here. I just feel like if you're not a part of the solution, don't be a part of the problem. You create problem when you bring dissension amongst us board members. When I joined the board, I thought we had a collective group that was awesome, dynamic. I've been out of town with them. I'm learning from them, as well as, I'm doing my own self-study on how to be a better board member. Now, until the last couple meetings where we had budget meetings, I hadn't seen anybody here. And started seeing new people here. Now, these aren't the same people that were here when the kids were getting awarded for anything. These were people here that was here to start a bunch of stuff. They came here. When they spoke negatively of the board. I think the whole thing about this is accountability. Accountability that was held down by President Garrett at the time. And just greed. People are here to get money. They weren't satisfied. There was so many people stopped me about ESSER dollars, about themselves, not about the kids. What can we do with it to improve the kids? ESSER dollars. And I think, and I know that there's some good people out here that have good intentions to be here, that you are concerned, but I also know some bad ones out here too. And I know you're in the community. I'm here every day in the community. I get nothing from this. I have a nonprofit. This year, I couldn't have my summer camp simply because I didn't have a place for the kids. And everybody know I had the summer hangout last year, every year, and it's free. I get nothing from it. I'm not here for politics. I get nothing for it. And being on the board exclude me from getting any place here. But I took this position to elevate my children. I saw that we had the reading deficiencies and all different things that was going on, the behavior in the schools, and I thought I could have a greater impact here. But it also excluded me from getting any of the facilities here also, as being a board member and the conflict of interest. I don't have a contract here. I'm not looking for it. I'm here for the kids. And if you're not here for the kids, I don't want to see you here. You have your right to be here, but I just don't want to see you, and that's my personal feelings. So, this is the most. I mean, we should have had popcorn. We should have sold popcorn and tickets. Popcorn and tickets. It's hot in here. It's standing room only. Everybody ready to see us fail. But, this is us, the bucket of crabs. The bucket of crabs. We got to change that mindset. Pontiac, let's get it together and think about these children first, not yourselves.
Thank you. VP Bowman.
So when I made my statement in regards to why I called for the vote, I may not have spoke loud enough or clearly enough, because at the end of the day, for me, this isn't the Kenyatta show. I'm not trying to be seen. I'm not trying to be in the middle of everything. That's not my place. At the end of the day, I spoke up for my feelings. Whoever decided to vote how they voted, that's their opinion. At the end of the day, I've personally seen people in this community, in this district, treated in a way that's not favorable to me. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have that. So whatever you think, Mr. Garrett or Mr. Gross, this isn't about me not liking you, me having any personal gripes.
Point of clarity.
If we're
If you can-
discussing it,
no,
we're
no,
discussing it.
But ma'am, it's we
Give our comments regarding board organization.
okay, ma'am,
Finish it.
ma'am, we go by Robert Rules of Order. And in Robert Rules of Order, which is our, let me finish. She made a direct, she made a direct she made a direct conversation, she made a
Yes, I
direct conversation.
stated your names because you all keep saying that nobody's being direct. I'm being clear
it's not-
and
it's not.
direct.
We're not
I don't
being-
want it to be misconstrued. I don't want my words to fall on deaf ears or for somebody to make up something on my reasonings why I chose what I chose, whether they support it or not. How about it, since, remove Mr. Garrett's name and Mr. Gross's name from my comments. The former Board of Education President and the former Board of Education Vice President. I have respect for both of you, but I do not care for some things that I have seen. It's not easy to sit up here, and it's not easy to sit up here and do what I did. But at the end of the day, I spoke up for people who has clearly said the way leadership is running in this community or in this district is not okay. I've personally seen people spoken to in an inappropriate manner that made me feel uncomfortable. If I wouldn't want it for me, I wouldn't want it for anyone else. This isn't about accolades or being up here being seen. This is difficult, but at the end of the day, if I wouldn't want it for somebody else to be mistreated and I wouldn't want it for me, so I took a stand for myself. It's not about a position. It's not about a seat. I didn't elect myself to this seat. I sat there and somebody else nominated me, and I accept it. So at the end of the day, how people are treated, and I continuously made that statement at the end of closing comments, be mindful how you treat people. That's just not something that I say. That's how I feel. That's what I believe. And if my action, in my opinion, causes you all, if my one action causes you all to see me in a different light, so be it. Because at the end of the day, I sleep well at night. I don't walk around here mistreating people. And I'm not saying that you all are horrible people, because I don't believe that within me. I don't believe that at all. But some things that I've seen, if you can sit by complicit and not say anything, it's not okay. It's not easy sitting up here doing the work. We all know it's not easy. But at the end of the day, I stand where I stand. Whether I'm in this seat, in that seat, that one, the work is to be done. It's about the community. It's about these children. But in the end of the day, we still have to treat our staff with dignity, decency, respect, kindness, consideration, because nobody wants to come to work and feel that they're in a hostile environment. I know I don't want to sit here and feel as if I'm in a hostile environment. One thing, being around you two in my life, I know in experiences, when we're out in public, I know I've been safe. I know I don't expect you to do anything out of order, but at the end of the day, how you treat people matter. I've always treated everyone on this board and in this community with decency and respect. I just want the same for the people who work for us. Period.
One more.
We are still talking about the board organization topic. Is there any other comments before we move on to the item C?
No, Madam Chair,
I got one right.
if I may
Kraft.
rebuttal. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I got one more statement about the whole thing. Okay, first of all, I thought that it was done wrong. And I feel like, you know, this is my personal opinion, that the Open Meetings Act was violated at the time. And the reason I feel this way is because didn't nobody bring me up into the discussion about anything, and in the way that you could figure it out, because we went straight to a vote and didn't nobody have a question. Went straight to a vote and didn't nobody have a question about why is the whole thing happening. And another thing is that we put our business out there in the street. This could have been done in closed session. It could have been done in closed session. Everything could have been done in closed session. It didn't have to be brought out here. And like I said before, you know, we need to get it together. We need to get it together. I was blindsided. I did not know this was coming.
Mr. Garrett.
Trustee Bowman through the chair. Madam, I apologize if that's how you took that. I am not going to give people who do not show up for our children any room or any thought to their ignorance. I know why people are in this room. I get it. We'll have our opportunity to address whatever that may be. I've learned some things by watching. I learned some things by watching you as a teammate. I just didn't expect it. And if you say something at the end of the meeting, to be totally honest with you, I was really thinking about something else in HR. I had no clue it was me. Because you've always been able to either, when I look at you, give me a cue of, hey, you're going a little bit too far. That's why we sat in the seats that we sat, and I've always used that to my advantage. I don't allow people to change my relationship on how I see people. Everybody doesn't have the same faith and religious beliefs that I do. But in my faith, I count what happened on the 26th is to see how I will handle it, not what I would have done in the past. What happened on the 26th by surprise in the politics in this particular community, that was my third time. I failed the test the last 2 times. I will not fail on the third. I don't think that people do things by coincidence. All I'm saying is, as we're moving forward, is to have a conversation like we do in board governance, because we've had some dragouts in board governance. But when and I can't even say my likeness or who I am. Everyone in this dais and everyone who tunes in clearly states and knows my national leadership is a shared leadership, and it's going to stay that way. My state leadership is a shared leadership. I take y'all everywhere I go. You know we're in the midst of planning something now on our national convention. That's not going to change. Some of the people in this room don't know that. And what I'm saying is, some of the individuals who are in this room who used to sit on this board, they feed off things like this. This is an opportunity for them to try to do something that they've always done and will continue to do for the rest of their lives because they don't know any better. So I'm not even angry at them. I'm not upset. I just would like to know to go back to board governance if we're going to have an issue with someone, because I can misinterpret something totally different. Now, trust and assured, you right. You never have nothing to worry about when we around going in town, out of town, any of that. I am a grown man. It is very hard sometimes not to go back to what I know people deserve versus what they give me. And so you handle people how you want to be handled, even when you mishandled. And it's not a jab, it's not any of that. It is a growth moment. I wouldn't know if I can handle what would happen on the 26th if I could have passed that test if it didn't happen. And it had to come from people who are close. And wisdom and emotional intelligence tells you that. So my recommendation was my recommendation going into last year, and Trustee Gross will tell you. I always have a succession plan. Y'all know me. I'm always looking for the succession plan because we have to continue to grow, and we're going to do that. So I apologize I publicly apologize to anybody, not in here, who felt that I did something totally different, or you felt like you was disrespected. But then tell me what that is so I have a chance to rebuttal it. Tell me what it is so I have a chance to answer it. Because if you just put that out there as a big black man at 6'1", 300 pounds, people take advantage of that. And I'm grateful for my wife and the many strong black women in my life that I no longer afraid to bring that conversation up. Because there are a lot of hurt women who hurt women. And so for me, I appreciate the things that y'all have done for me during my transition to get me to where I need to be. It's a part of the process. But I'm never going to cower down. I will never be passive aggressive. I would never be the kind of person that's going to say something to you that I wouldn't be able to say to somebody else. And I don't talk to a lot of people around here anymore as much as we used to, because at our level, or the level that we serve on, and our children, you just can't afford to do that. And it can't happen that way. And so I publicly apologize if that's the way you felt. For those who I may have offended, because I don't know. And if you don't tell me, I don't know. And I'm a grown man. I'm a brute. I play football. That's just what happens. And in this passive aggressive world, people get very offended when they see real men stand up and have a real conversation. And they take it and they apply it to bullying and other things. So this switching here, again, was not the fact of, I just know the strength of my teammates. And I also know this administration, after watching, clearly, we tape the board governance meetings. I go through this in my sleep. So if I see that an administrator or administration is tweaking and talking to board members and influencing them to do things because they may not know a certain thing or how it operates, I'm going to say something. They're not my teammates. They work for us. We work for the people. I did nothing wrong the law did not state under Public Act 451. It's not my fault people don't read. All I'm saying to you is, Madam Chair, now yield. Again, make it a public apology. But I'm not about to give these folks no show. And I'm going to speak to you like we were in board governance. And I'm going to address the MEA because they here. Thank God they here. It's contract time. They're supposed to be here. So we're going to have some real discussions. And we're going to do it in the fashion that we've always done it. I don't care where I'm sitting or you sitting or you sitting. We've always been professional. We've always been the best board. We've always been the best elected officials, and we're going to continue to do that. So again, publicly apology, and that was my recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you for that time.
Trustee Gross, did you have something to say?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If there's anything that's more important to me, it's my name and my reputation. So I refute what you say as it pertains to disrespecting others. Relationships are more important to me than positions. That's who I am. That's what I'm about. I'm completing my 12th year as a board member here. I'm the oldest one on this board. Not only in board years, but in age. I try to build strong relationships, not positional relationships with my board members, because that's more important to me, because I'm not going to always be part of the executive board. I understand that. So I refute what you say about disrespecting others and publicly disrespecting employees. There are people that, administrators, that call me because they have concerns, because they trust and believe in the relationships that we establish. But to say that publicly disrespecting someone, that's not who I am. Not as a trustee, not as the vice president, not even as a person. So I take offense to that because that's not the type of person I am. I'm not angry or disappointed in what was done. I'm just disappointed in the manner of how it was done. I've never been through that process. He said he's seen it 3 times. I've never been through that, because it's always been the intent of me that when things change, we do it at the right time. Today was the organizational meeting where the decisions would have been made for positions. The 26th was a surprise and an ambush. That wasn't right, how it was done. I respect the motions that were done because I'm still here. But I was completely hurt and disappointed in the manner of how it was done. There are people in this audience that may agree with what Vice President Bowman said. That's fine. But I too also have supporters here who believe and trust in me, or who the real Kevin is, not Trustee Gross. So I too have people in the community that says things to me. But it's disheartening when we've gone through this for almost this entire 7 of us. We have done this together for over 3.5 years. And for that to take place the way it did, it's not anger, it's hurt. Because of the respect I have for all of you. And I truly know in my heart, I would not have done that to any of you. Because there wasn't the right time or the right place to do it. And I understand your concerns you may have had with the leadership. But there's appropriate times and places to do that. So yes, that was disheartening to me, because that's not who I am. Whatever the reason or rationale you had, it wasn't because of relationships and mistreating of others. That's not the type of person I am from this point forward. I'm sorry that happened. My prayers have been that we can move forward from that. I thought before that we're not the type of group that would do something like that. And I hope and pray that we will no longer continue to be the group or board of trustees to do something like that. All of my decisions that I've made from 1999 through 07 and from 2020 to the present date has been for the best interest of children. Now, if I rub some people wrong because I don't think they're putting their best in for children, that's not my fault. There's been a lot of things said outside of here. I've received calls, I've talked to people, and they couldn't understand why it took place. They were concerned, and they were even more concerned about me, because they know who I am, what I'm truly about. I said some time ago throughout the meetings that this was probably the most joyous time that I had as a board member. I can't say that now. I love what I do for children. For 37 years, I worked in the juvenile system to help children. From 2000 to 2015, I worked through Michigan Works, mentoring children. 12 years as a board member to help children. And when adults make untruthful statements and it causes me to feel the way I feel today, and it's not about children, it's about emotions and feelings, and most of all, it's about money. When you go back 2.5 years ago, this board made the decision to give full-time employees $4,000, $4,000, $12,000. Part-time employees, $2,000, $2,000, and I think $6,000. Some contractual workers. A year or so ago, this board made the decision to give every employee back the steps that they were on, were held up because we were in a deficit. And we made the decision to improve benefits. Then this board made the decision to ensure that an incoming teacher to this district will be paid a minimum of $45,000, including benefits. Through those years up until September of this previous school year, through October, November, December, when $12,000 was given out, January, February, March, and April. No one said a word that we were being disrespectful. We didn't communicate with them. And now May hits, June hits. It's time for negotiations. Then I receive information and letters that the board is being sued because we're unfair. We're practicing unfair. We're not speaking to them, and they want to sue. Where was that 2 years ago? A year ago? 4 months ago? And now all of a sudden, the leadership on this board is leading the district wrong. We're disrespectful to people. That doesn't add up to me. And then I become the fall guy. One of the fall guys. When all I ask is just do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Respect each other. Discuss what we're going to do. And I can live with that. But right now, my feelings are still hurt, and that's okay. And I'll get over it. But I hope and pray that we can get back to where we were or even better, because we can't allow others to make our decisions as it pertains to us. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. You have something too? Yes.
So for my reasoning for June 26 was, first of all, our last board governance meeting, I came to you guys and I had wanted to go into closed session because I didn't want the community to think that we were divided or, we had rift among the board, because we don't. But I came to you guys to tell you what I was hearing in the community, in the different schools. And that day I said that it's not just a handful. I was going to the different schools with the, volunteering, and these were the concerns that was said to me. And so I wanted to bring it to you guys so that we can rectify that as a board. That's why I said, did y'all want to go to should we go to closed session on it? You guys told me to say it, I said it. The reason for June 26 was because I still was hearing those things, but actually in the meeting, I also received someone had said they didn't send me that letter. They just stated that we were being sued due to the president at the time not allowing them to speak at a meeting. And for Trustee Kraft, I don't believe that the Open Meeting Act was, because I haven't had a conversation either outside of, I told you guys that day, but the information that I received that day in, via text message or whatever, I spoke about that as well. The reason that I voted that was because, like Trustee Kraft say, I have a business as well. I give most of my money back to this school district. And I hate to say it now because everybody knows that what I do behind closed, behind the scenes. I never like to show what I'm doing for others and things like that, because that's not a real gift if you got to be seen about what you're doing. So for me, it was, I had to do what was best for the district. When I was the treasurer and they said we were going in a different direction, that was fine for me because I'm for whatever is best for our district. I was born and raised here. My children graduated from here. It's always a lot of miscommunication and things about our district. My youngest son graduated in a dual program here. He didn't feel like he learned enough here to go to college. So I took him away to school. 3 days later, my baby came back. It took 3 carloads to go. He came back in 1. I don't know what he left, but he graduated last May with a business degree from OU, and he had a GPA at 3.58, and that's a Pontiac school district child. And so I want all children to be able to have that, that opportunity. There's so many people that I see in this crowd right now today that actually, if it wasn't for them pushing him, helping me to push my boys, because it's hard to raise men. And I raised 2 great men. And I'm thankful for this school district. So I came back here to fight for that school district. Also, in 1998, my brother, he passed away chewing gum. And this school district paid for my brother's funeral. My brother was 17 years old, but he was 6'9". They had to charge us more money for his casket because his casket had to be made special because of how tall he was. This school district paid for that. My mom didn't have to come out her pocket at all. They also came with food and things of that nature. And again, I see those people in this audience. So these people on this board I love. We have great leaders, Garrett, Kevin, Troy, Anisha, everyone on here to me. Some of them I grew up with, some of them is my family. That was the hardest decision I had to make. My god brother, that was a hard decision, but I had to do what was best for our district, and I felt like that was what I was doing. Not because I felt like we didn't have great leadership, but I know that sometimes we have to change the dynamics of something in order to make it better. So that was what I did. Thank you.
Right. Any other comments regarding board organization?
Just a quick comment, just through the chair, through Ms. Davis. So, police officer, 27 years. I break the law, I'm going to jail. Y'all get to go home. So that's why I'm heavy on the policy and the bylaws. So policy 167.3 of public comments, when we see that an employee is coming and they put on their comments, contract negotiations, it is a direct contradiction to what they're supposed to be doing. Now, some people know that. I expect when you get your handbook as an employee to know the policy. And so in that policy, it clearly states, it says the public participation portion of the meeting cannot be used by employees of the school district to make personal attacks against a board member or district employees that unrelated matters to public concern. Matters of public concern would include, by example and not by limitation, corruption, impropriety, criminal conduct, public safety, testimony at legal or quasi-legal proceedings, and comments regarding internal operations of the public agency. Portions of the board agenda to disrupt the operation of the school district, nor to express complaints that are related solely to the employee's personal employment situation with the Pontiac School District or contract negotiations. I don't make it up. It's here in black and white. I've been following it for 20 years. And so we're going to lead by policy. And I just wanted to point that out, just to clear up some of the things that you may have had sent to you and things of that nature. And as she stated, she got things sent to her from the meeting. It's people in the community that don't want us to be successful. They clearly stated that. And if I know them type of people are around, it is not my job to be nice to you. And I know that you take things and you took my personal life and you attack my job. These people are employees of the district and sent letters to my job. My God, thank God I'm a good character in the city of Pontiac, man. And I've done some things nationally and done some things in the county, and I've helped some people. But you go after my how I take care of my kid, my grandbabies, just now. That's all I want. And you know that's all I want you to see. Is that even though we in the business of educating kids, it's some people just in the business of getting money for themselves. And that's a reality. I came back to deal in that reality. I sat right there and said I want all the smoke. Right? I'm sitting here right here and saying I still want that smoke. Because you can't keep taking from black and brown kids and thinking it's okay. And we're going to get to that on my next comment. Thank you.
All right, we're now moving down to item C, board retreat dates.
We can pass that, if you may. Yep.
Thank you. Now we'll move down to item D, board communication discussion.
Okay. Now, I wanted a retraction in that particular statement. Or retract that going out. Because it could have been worded different. And it could have said that there was just a change in the there's a change in the board. We're moving in different directions. If you have any kind of questions, contact the new board chair because you're the only person that would legally speak for us. But that's not how it was written. No. It was written in such a way as if we broke a law. And those are the kind of questions I didn't get it this time. Because I'll be honest with you, I really expected this. Not like this, but in a sense of when it comes down to individuals in the community, you know, I never get shook when people send letters and all the other kind of stuff, because I've been through it. And so when that was sent out and who sent it out. Now, in the previous administration, this individual resigned, but then was given the opportunity. I had no contact with the person. I specifically stated as the chair that I will have no contact with the person. That will be brought up with the board members, VP specifically. Because again, as a black man in this particular community, I am not going to have words like bully, he's intimidating. When you hear those type of things, people have a tendency of thinking that you're doing that to women, and nobody want 5 of my aunties to come down here. That's not me. So I removed myself from that person's presence. That person did not even have a contract when that email came out because nothing came before the board on the 26th. They know for a fact that everything that I had asked of that particular company and organization before we brought in the new organization, that things were simply not getting done at the pace that we would like to have done at that particular point in time. And so, just as I'm asking, if you could just send the emails out yourself, because I don't need anybody speaking for me. And typically when you send something out like that as the board chair, you're speaking for the board. But you say those comments and it exclude folks, and then we're left to decide, are you coming at me or are you not? And it's offensive. And we don't know how to take it. And I'm just using this moment right now as teachable moments for anybody in the room who leaders and doing whatever they're doing. Because again, do I believe in who you are and who I saw you to be as a teammate? I do. But are there individuals who take advantage of not just yours, but the VPs the current VP as well's niceness, or taking advantage of this, or what they thought they was going to get a show. They thought we was going to be at each other, and they feed you all this mess. He this, he that, he this. Yes, I am that to them, because they liars. They lie. Of course I am. And I tell them over again. I look at them. You're a liar. If I don't agree with Daryl, I tell Daryl we don't agree. If we in a board governance meeting, we just had board retreat for 3 days. And I specifically, and it's been recorded. I don't think people remember what they say when they be talking. I do, because it's my job. But when you tell me that you're doing a certain thing and that's not your job, and you've been verbally warned 3 to 4 times, you've had professional development, you've had individuals, coaches, then you're doing it because that's what you want to do. Well, that doesn't work for the Pontiac School District. And so, with that being said, I would just like that retracted out of the atmosphere, because those things are simply not true. As if we don't have democracy, because we have. But if you take 2 illegal contracts from a previous administrator, and those contracts don't come before the board, and you a vendor, and you're still allowed to do business, we're talking about the business of the district now. We're not even talking about education. And we'll get further into it. It's the business of education that really ramps up the educational side of it that we don't handle. And so it's individuals in this room who've been in this room since I started this in, well, he was a little older than me. So 2007. $500,000 contracts. I'm not disrespectful to people, but we're not going to be disrespectful to my folks. So just in full transparency, I got 2 nieces at the middle school, and my baby is about to start frost. So it's double down for me now. So I just want that retracted because it's just out there, and I don't think that it shouldn't have been worded that way, and we've never done that before.
Miscommunication.
Yes.
Any other-
I don't want to read it.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm just asking that to be retracted. That's
Okay. Trustee Gross.
And I too agree. And my concern was, and I attempted to have a conversation with Dr. Leverett, and she's not here, that according to the statement you sent out, it went out to the Pontiac School District staff and community and some board members. No.
No, if you're talking about the letter that went out to the school district and those families that have students or have children within the Pontiac School District. I think Trustee Kraft received the letter. I didn't receive the letter because I don't have any children in the school district. So it went out to those individuals. That was it. So that could be why I think you mentioned that you didn't receive it, and I think Garrett mentioned he didn't receive it. Bowman didn't receive
My
it.
brother sent it to me.
Davis didn't receive it. So it did only go out to the families and the district personnel.
Can I ask a question?
I don't want to go into the gist of this. I mean, for this to take place immediately after that meeting, and we've had no discussion, you made that decision to send it out?
I approved for it to go out
And
because
not-
the communication did need to go out regarding what had happened, because there had been individuals contacting, wondering what happened. It wasn't, everybody doesn't have social media, the meeting wasn't aired. There was some recordings from individuals using their phone, but in order to get in front of it, to address what had taken place, a communication went out to explain what had taken place, and that was it.
But I'm asking you, because my name has been mentioned in this twice, and I was never given any notification on why, and again, to me, this was disturbing and hurtful to me as well, because my name's in there.
Okay.
My wife is an employee at the district. She received this, and to see this, and I had no knowledge. I just asked for the same type of courtesy that I give, that if something like this would include my name, just let me know it's coming out, or give me the opportunity to peruse it, but my name was in this.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions regarding the board communication discussion?
I guess I got one more. I hear you say okay, but you authorize something that disparate, it was not true. But you didn't write it.
No.
Right. That's what I mean. If the person who wrote it has a axe to grind with me, I know it to be true,
Okay.
right? You wouldn't know.
Okay.
There was things that I have done, that we've all have done to cover each other, to making sure that people are very successful. That's it. And I'll leave that there, and I'll do it all over again. But if that person has an ought against me, and they never address it to me, they address it to everybody else, they definitely address it at the board retreat, because we definitely heard that, just a clear view. We all heard that. They wouldn't write something favorable to my name. And so I'm asking again, if we can just get board approval before things like that go out. Because I've wrote 22 national articles on Pontiac. I don't want to be fielding calls like, again, it's a little different for a police officer. We get ran through the mud every single day. And I take a great chance of doing the work that I do. It's my assignment. But I don't want folks to be able to weaponize this new change to benefit them. And give them, and if you may, because of what I was able to do with this team, please give me the benefit of the doubt when something is written in such a way where it's disparaging to me. My wife is a Pontiac Northern graduate. My in-laws are here, live here. Like, just give me the benefit of the doubt. If it's gonna come up where we use that individual company or whatever. Because again, I don't get a do-over like in certain situations, and I'm just grateful that my reputation and my job and what I've done in the community is able to sustain some of the frivolous things that's been done in the last couple of weeks. That's all I'm asking for you.
No, thank you for
Okay.
saying, no, I appreciate you. I heard you as well, Trustee Gross, and I know that we are all professionals, and I trust that the Public Relations Department that wrote that letter is done in the best interest of the school district. I heard you mention that there may have been some, you thought it could have been maybe some slight
No, it
attacks
was.
towards you.
It was.
But I have to believe that what was done was for the community, for our district family as a whole. It was not, and this is me, this is what I'm expecting, and this is what when I read the letter, I assumed that there wasn't anything personal. I didn't see that as personal, be it the names were included in the letter, yes, but I don't know the relationship, so I couldn't read into it to say that it was a personal attack. So I didn't see it as that way. I saw that a communication needed to go out to our district family, just making them aware of the situation that took place. I didn't read anything beyond that, but I heard what you said. And so as I'm saying, as any communications going forward, I am confident that the individuals, the PR that will do it, they will do it in the best interest of the district and not for any personal reasons, finding or using that as a way to make any personal attacks on anyone. But I heard what you said. All right, so now we'll move, anything else before we move beyond that? All right, now we're moving down to item E. Garrett?
So, and I don't know if this needs to be something, as far as the HR department is concerned, that we have a closed session item on, or we wait till Dr. Leverett returns. Like you said, and I had a chance to really kind of talk and kind of think about it. You know, y'all know I keep my receipts. And again, it's kind of hard to have conversation and not be able to walk people through the whole thing. And I don't want to take up any more time than we have
Right.
here. But my issue becomes, if the board approves something, then the board approves it. You can't go back and say, oh, I'm going to post that position, because the board approved it. It's not about who signed it. It is not about who didn't sign it before it came to the board. It is about the board approved. The process is that once it comes to the board as a recommendation, that's it. The problem of it is of having, when HR has or believes they have the ability to change what the board has done, you change what the board is having conversations. There's conversations that's had with the board that's not had with administration. And y'all know that. We've done that. But as we're changing the organizational chart and we're looking at it, there were specific things. Now I know why it wasn't given to me is in a timely manner, I believe, at this point. But when we're looking at the organizational chart overall and where we at and why we left people as interim positions, is because they're interims for savings, not interims because they just there to be there. We had people who stole, in my opinion, allegedly. There's been a mismanagement of multiple millions of dollars. And so it's very important that you bring people into a situation that has nothing to do with what we're currently dealing with. And so certain movements could be made. I'm just asking you, Madam Chair, moving forward, that we continue our space. We have an HR committee now. That it comes to committee as we discussed first. We have a conversation about it. We have our board governance. I'm I'm ecstatic about that, so we'll be able to clear some things up there. But I'm concerned that everything is always ran through HR, and that's not HR's responsibility. And so I've went through the notes. I suggest Mr. Frank pulls the board retreat for you so you can refresh yourself on the things that we talked about in the board retreat, so you can bring yourself up to speed to the point of it's not always HR's fault. And when it's bottlenecked straight to HR, when we found out in the board retreat that our middle management from principals on down, there's some things, some accountability things there that need to take place before it gets to HR, that it shouldn't be dropped in the lap of HR for a decision to be made when it should be made, and HR should make the first and final decision, if that makes sense. But as it relates to the interim and status of where we at and what we're doing, we're here for a reason, and I don't want to get into a what's legal, what's not legal space at this point, because there's some other resolutions that may be coming down the pipe, but I wanted to put that out there. Okay?
Trustee,
Thank you.
May I, please?
Yes.
Just for clarity and for it to be on the record, HR does not make a decision without a directive. So if I'm given a directive by my immediate supervisor, I act on that. I fact check things and I triple check things. So if it's an interim position or not interim, that's not my decision, my final decision to make. But I am given a directive to do something, and I'm acting on the directive that I'm given by my immediate supervisor. So I'm not making decisions on my own. Just
Okay.
want that to be put on record.
Madam Chair?
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if you may, because I wasn't. If you're given a decision by a directive, as you state, and you know that the directive changes the board's decision, then the expectation to me would be, as we discussed in the past, that you bring it back to the board.
That's not my place to do that.
No,
That's
ma'am.
not my
Please
place.
don't
I
interrupt.
go
This is
back
a
to my-
board meeting.
I get it, but you're
I'm a
talking
board-
directly to me.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I have
And
to talk
this
to
is
my
a board-
immediate supervisor about that.
Ma'am, I'm not going to get, see, this is the
Yep,
part.
yep.
Ma'am, hold on, let me,
Wait,
Madam
wait,
Chair,
wait.
let me finish.
Yes, wait,
Madam Chair, let me
Wait.
finish.
Calm down.
I know, I'm not, I just need to.
I know. I've heard both of them, and I did hear what you had to say, and I think this is why I said I would rather have this
Okay.
this conversation with interim
But
superintendent
Madam
Dr.
Chair,
Leverett.
here's the great teachable moment. Here's the level of disrespect that's given every time, or I hear something that comes out of HR. If you can disrespect a board member at a board meeting and overtalk me, I know what you do to other employees. I know what you do to other people. So I wasn't going to ask for what I'm going to ask for, but I'm so glad this one was televised, because the documentation speaks for itself. And all I'm asking is, please don't allow another administrator disrespect me at my table.
We good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Kellum, we good. All right, so now we're moving down to action items. For the approval of action item A under regular board agenda, draft 2024-2025 regular board meeting schedule. Can I get a motion?
I'm sorry, Madam President, we had
You
one more.
had something else?
No, it was the discussion to transfer administrator from paid leave to unpaid leave. Does that go into
I
a
thought
closed
that was
session?
yes, I thought that was all part of
Is that-
HR.
No, that was separate. It's only one person on paid leave right now. There was some information that was sent to the board, because I shared it with a few board members. That's a closed session. That is a closed session, as I sit there and think about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, we are now moving down to action item A, draft 2024-2025 regular board meeting schedule. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right. It has been moved by VP Bowman, and supported by Trustee Davis Smith for the approval of the 2024-2025 regular board meeting schedule. Roll call.
Okay. Gross. Oh, Gross.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Yes. Garrett.
Yes.
It passes.
Thank you. Action item B, board organization. Let there be a motion. I believe the recommendation was to move Trustee Gross as VP, Hannah as president,
Bowman as
Trustee Bowman as secretary,
Yeah.
and we still have Terry as treasurer. So we need a motion.
Moved by Garrett.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Trustee Garrett, seconded by Trustee Gross. Roll call, please.
Okay, 1 second. So I put that under,
Board organization. Motion.
the first one, I put discussion.
That's fine. That was just a discussion.
Okay. Hannah.
No.
Bowman.
No.
Kraft.
Yes.
David Smith, no. Garrett
Yes.
and Gross.
Yes.
It failed.
It failed. All right.
Yeah, failed.
All right, so we scratched item C, which was our board retreat date discussion. So the next one was the board communication. There was a discussion, and the action was to retract the discussion?
No, to
Is it-
retract that.
Retract the letter?
That letter.
Okay, to retract the letter, the communication that went out
Well,
to the
I'll-
school district.
To retract the letter, if one has to go out, and I said this in our discussion, just don't use our names. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, so we want a motion to retract this communication that went out?
Yes.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion on the floor to retract the motion of the district communication?
So move.
Support.
Moved by Trustee Gross, supported by Trustee Garrett.
Bowman.
Yes.
Oh. Bowman.
Your mic.
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
David Smith, yes. Garrett.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Hannah.
No.
That passes.
And that was it?
I think that was it.
So I go.
Yeah. That was it. I think that was it.
All right, and
I will go all the way over to.
that was it. We
Yeah,
had,
thank
that was
you. I
it.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, now continuing with our agenda, General Counsel, Human Resource Items, Professional Agents of Record for the 2024-2025 fiscal agent. Attorney Seegers, the meeting is yours.
Okay, Board Policy 0172 provides that a decision to seek legal advice or assistance on behalf of the school district shall be made by the superintendent. Such action shall occur as it is consistent with approved district policy or standard practice and meets an obvious need of the district. It may also take place as a consequence of formal school board action. The superintendent is also to provide the board on at least an annual basis a list of firms to be utilized. The proposed list is attached for board consideration. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education consider the legal firms provided as the district's professional agents of record for 2024-2025 fiscal year, as more specifically set forth on the list attached here too.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions?
No.
No
I saw
question.
he moved it. No.
All right, thank you. We have, we'll approve them all under Action item. The next one is 2024-2025 procurement card authorization positions. Attorney Seegers.
The attached listing shall be the authorized positions to use the district-approved purchasing cards for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. A listing of the authorized users is maintained on the district website within the transparency section under the heading District Credit Card Information per statutory requirements found in MCL 388. 1.1618, subsections 2. Throughout the year, requests for a P-card limit is to be temporarily raised, especially at the start of the school year for supply orders, as well as staff movements are documented and authorized by the superintendent or designee. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the 24-25 authorized positions for the district purchasing card program.
All right. Any questions? VP Bowman.
Next is the 2024-25 authorization of bank depositories and bank signatories.
Wait, I'm sorry, Seegers.
Oh.
We had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead,
On
VP.
on the raising of the amount of the procurement cards, was there a cap or just open and just leave it free and open?
No, it's a cap.
Okay. Do we have a number?
I think it depends on the department.
Okay.
Yeah. Were there any changes for the signees? Were there any added that weren't on there last year?
That I am not sure, but
Okay,
I'm
'cause
sure
I did see the list.
if there were new people who joined the district in between last year and this year, that typically would be the case.
Okay, I did see it. Trustee Garrett, did you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question about the card holder number 12 on this list. We don't have a contract for that person, so I'm asking that they remove from the list.
I don't have the list of individuals in front of me, but I did see it, so I will look up who the person for item 12 is. Oh, this person is interim superintendent, it is under her threshold to have this individual working with us. So that is how this person is in place.
So, hold on, let me get this right. Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
For the month of July,
Okay.
there's, yeah,
Okay.
for the month of July.
So, madam, I'm good with the change. But we can't do business like that. Like, it is by policy. If I'm keeps yelling policy and law and y'all keep breaking it, or whoever's breaking it, like, I'm not going to be quiet about this situation. Because it's not fair to keep doing things behind a closed door and say I was accused of doing something, and I'm finding out a regular meeting. I digress.
Seegers, is there anything you want to say about that?
Basically, this person had two contracts last school year. One, I believe, for the fall of 23-24, and another one for the spring of 23-24. Two separate contracts with the superintendent actually under her threshold. And my understanding is that there's a contract for this month, for the month of July, only with this same person. So there's really been no change in terms of, there being a direct contract with this person through the superintendent over the past year.
So,
Okay.
point of clarity.
So, Seegers, are we in any violation?
No, not at all. The superintendent has unilateral right to hire
Yes.
somebody under a certain threshold.
Okay.
Point of clarity.
Trustee Garrett.
So, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so in this instance, those contracts wasn't even brought back to the board, and they were supposed to be. And then now we're saying, and that was over an old administration, which was told to the current administration that bring the contract back, or even whatever that person is going to do, bring it back. I wasn't even objective at that point. But to totally have disregard of what is asked of the board, I didn't make these decisions on my own. I have each and every last one of y'all votes. I didn't make this on my own. And so with that particularly being said, to now be in a position where I'm hearing, because there's new people in this particular room, is the first time hearing this, is if I've lost my mind when it comes down, or I have some personal thing with this particular vendor, and I don't put personal over business. Like I told them, I think they can have value. But what we can't do is devalue each other or make people seem like things are not happening when it is. And so if the threshold, and it was told, and also the board agreed that any contract, because we moved the threshold from 29,000 back to 25,000, those are in the motions. We all agreed upon that. And to have any contract come before the board and that HR should have a copy of it. That was also voted on. And now I'm hearing, no, we like this person, so this person gets to circumvent every other decision that the board has made, and now they have a contract just into January. That's not acceptable, ma'am.
Okay. And based on, I understand that this vendor's contract ended in the end of June 30th, right? I think her contract expired June 30th. And based on what took place on June 26th, she was asked to handle the communication of everything that had transpired. And so she was asked to continue to perform those duties under interim superintendent Leverette's threshold for the month of July. I do understand that this vendor is submitting a contract for the new school year, beginning August 1st through June of 2025, in which the board will have to review and approve.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Did you have any other questions in regards to the procurement credit card authorization positions? All right, Seegers, this meeting is yours.
Yes, 2024-25, authorization of bank depositories and bank signatories. Pursuant to the Pontiac School District bylaws, Section 000, Code PO 0154, subsection A, the board shall, at the organizational meeting, which is today, designate depositories for school funds per MCL 380.1221. Therefore, the following banks are designated depositories in which the school district of the city of Pontiac, Michigan may legally deposit monies for the period of July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025. Designation of depositories for this school year or fiscal year: Fifth Third Bank, Comerica Bank, Chase Bank, Bank of America, and the Huntington National Bank. The school district of the city of Pontiac collects and disperses monies for its operations. These monies are deposited in banks in the name of the school district of the city of Pontiac and may be written upon with checks signed by the authorized bank signatory. The following will formally be designated as signers on the accounts: the superintendent and the board treasurer. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the attached resolution authorizing the appropriate depositories and signatories to be utilized for the fiscal year 2024-25. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions? VP Bowman.
Did you say, I didn't hear you say PNC, but is PNC still on there, or were they?
I do apologize. Yes, PNC is on there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, moving down to D.
2024-25, authorization of electronic transfers and ETO. The board shall, at the organizational meeting pursuant to Board Policy 6144, adopt a resolution authorizing agents to complete such transactions on behalf of the board. The following will formally designate the superintendent or other appropriate designee responsible for the school district's ACH agreements, including payment approval, accounting, reporting, and generally overseeing compliance with the ACH policy. All ACH invoices are to be approved prior to payment. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the resolution authorizing electronic transfers for the 2024-25 school year.
Thank you. Any questions? Back to you, Seegers.
All right. Next is the authorized signer. Pursuant to the Pontiac School District bylaws, Section 0000, Code PO 0154, subsection B, the board shall, at the organizational meeting, designate a person authorized to sign checks, contracts, agreements, and purchase orders for the period of July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025. The authorized signer shall be the superintendent of schools or his or her designee for the fiscal year 2024-25. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, moving down to action items. Board, would you be okay with us combining action items A through E
Make the
for
motion.
approval?
I would like them all separate, ma'am.
You want them all separate?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, perfect. All right, ready, David Smith?
Yeah,
All right.
so,
All right, we're going to start with action item A, approval of professional agents of record for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Can I get a motion on the floor?
So moved.
support.
All right, moved by VP Bowman, supported by Trustee David Smith for the approval of professional agents of record for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
David Smith, yes. Garrett,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
that passes.
Thank you. Moving down to the next one, approval of the 2024-2025 procurement card authorization positions. Can I get a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Support. Roll call, please.
Kraft,
Yes.
David Smith, yes. Garrett,
No.
Gross,
No.
Hannah,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
that passes.
Thank you. Moving down to the next one, approval of the 2024-2025 authorization of bank depositories and bank signatories. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Support.
Trustee David Smith beat you.
Oh,
Roll call, please.
David Smith, yes. Garrett,
yes, ma'am.
Gross,
That's the one with the treasurer and the superintendent, right? Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
and Kraft.
Yes.
Bowman.
Oh, Bowman, where you at?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I did. That passes.
Thank you. And the last one, approval of authorized signers. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Garrett,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Kraft,
Oh, got it, got it, got it,
David Smith,
got
yes.
it.
All right, thank you. Continuing with the agenda, curriculum and instruction, discussion item A, diverse classroom libraries material.
I'll be doing that one.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
presenting on behalf of Dr. Devison. This is a item for discussion and action. It's for the 2024-2025 grant-funded diverse classroom library materials. PSD administration is looking to purchase materials for our 24-25 school year. The amount is $35,529.30 from Lee and Low Books, diverse classroom library, the books for grades K through 5. Listing of books included with the quote. You should have the quote attached. The funding source is from MICLSD and/or Partnership Schools 21H. And this is to add to the current classroom library. So there's already a library in each building. They just want to add to that collection. PSD administration requests that the board approve a purchase with Lee and Low Books for the amount not to exceed $35,529.30.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
I guess this is for the upcoming school year, right?
Yes. They need to purchase them in advance because it's going to take a while for them to get the books.
I think she, okay, yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Financial source?
General.
MICLSD and/or Partnership Schools 21H grant.
Grant.
Yes.
Got it. Perfect.
All right, any other questions? All right. Action item, approval of diverse classroom libraries materials. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, roll call, please.
Gross.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Terry, oh, sorry. Bowman.
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Davis Smith, yes. And Garrett.
Yes.
That passes.
All right, thank you. Continuing with our agenda, we'll go down to communications, petitions, and delegations. VP?
We have several. I'm just going to read the intro once, and I'll call two names so somebody can be on deck when the one person is speaking. Pontiac Board of Education, Communications, Delegations, and Petitions. Your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all your comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiture of your allotted time. So we have Mary Huber and Julie Williams.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Huber, and I work at International Technology Academy as an 8 through 12 French teacher. It has now been 8 days without a contract for our teachers in Pontiac School District. We want a fair contract so that we can retain and recruit great teachers in our district.
Excuse me, we can't talk about contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. But is there anything else you needed to say? Wow. Okay. All right, the next. Julie?
Hi.
Okay.
Julie Williams. I've been a teacher in the district since 1998. I do have tenure. I'm not here because I cannot find another job somewhere else, as has been said by some people publicly. I do want to say, though, we have a lot of teachers here that have been through crazy increases in our class sizes. I've had 42 students in my class at times. Pay cuts. We've had times within the year where we have had to work for 10 days with no pay, but we still had to work those days. And the teachers still did so because Pontiac teachers are amazing and we do what we need to do for students because that's who we are here for. Class sizes are still an issue. If I have a child who's in 7th grade. If she was in a 7th grade class at Pontiac Middle School with 42 students in the room, as is happening or has happened this past school year, I would be creating a lot of noise. Unfortunately, our parents feel very helpless with that, and instead they just leave. We need to keep our parents here. We need to keep our students here. We've got a lot of really great teachers here. We also are usually, when you look at the consortium, one of the districts that has the highest need for hiring teachers. We always have teachers on there. We need to make sure that we make Pontiac a desirable place for teachers to come. We have the best of the best, but we have a lot of openings, and in order for us to get those openings filled with quality teachers, we need to make this a desirable place to be. We've made some progress in that, definitely, but it needs to continue. For President Hanna, I appreciate that you acknowledged that teachers are here for students, because that is true. Despite what some people seem to be saying publicly, we are absolutely here for our students. Otherwise, why would we still be here? There are other places that we could be. Places are hiring everywhere. We are here because we want the best for our students. No, we don't always make it to all of the board meetings. We can't. We can't be here every time our students are getting an award. We show up in other ways. I've been to basketball games. I've been to track meets. I've been to the volleyball games. You don't see that, but I am at those. We all give in the way that we can with what works best for us. But if we want to do what's best for our students, we need to make sure that all of the people working in this district are treated fairly, are treated kindly, and we need to make it a desirable place to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzanne Kavanaugh, and Dr. Suzanne Kavanaugh, and Miss Jennifer Dooley.
Good evening, Pontiac Board of Education trustees. I come to you tonight not as Dr. Suzanne Kavanaugh, principal of Owen Elementary, but as the recently elected president of the Pontiac Association of School Administrators. I did not seek this position, but I was nominated into it by my peers. When I resigned as president 3 years ago, I had no intention of ever returning to this position under another hostile environment. However, when speaking to those that nominated me, it became clear they sought someone who was knowledgeable about their contract rights and who was not afraid to speak the truth when they see those rights being broken. For that reason, I stand here before you tonight to speak about mental health in our district. I knew that stepping back into the presidency would not be an easy job, but I had no idea how quickly and intensely I would be called upon to defend our contract and employees. Within the first week, the PASA was served with a lawsuit regarding the termination of one of our employees. I was called upon to defend administrators that were being disciplined, but not according to the progressive discipline policies as outlined in our contract and work rules. Next, administrators are being moved and terminated, again without following the contract language. Attempts were made to create jobs, change job
Dr.
titles.
Kavanaugh,
Sorry, I won't say contract anymore.
thank you.
Attempts were made to create jobs, change job titles, and move jobs under different departments, again without conversation with the union. It was as if we were once again operating under consent agreement and the employee work agreements under which we work were null and void. Over the last few years, this board has enacted policies and approved funding to support the mental health needs of our students. We are thankful for the work you have done, but I have to ask, are the mental health needs of our employees not as important as those of our students? Teachers and administrators are on the front lines every day dealing with student trauma. I would like you to ask yourselves how much our student trauma impacts the adults that serve them. But go beyond that and consider all of the other factors that lead to trauma for the employees of this district. 8.5% pay cuts in 2013, 25% over recommended class sizes. COVID, constantly changing leadership, lack of staffing, dilapidated buildings, and extreme temperatures. All of these things cause trauma, and then when you add in lack of transparency, constantly changing policies, and threats of being fired, for some that is a breaking point. People cannot be successful when they feel threatened and fear their jobs. In our schools, the term is bullying, and we're required by law to address it. In the workplace, it is called harassment and hostile work environment, and again, you are legally required to address it. As president of PASA, I thank you for the actions that were recently taken to address the hostile work environment that we were dealing with the last 5 months, but we beg you not to stop there. The other union presidents and I welcome to sit down with you to discuss our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Dooley. I was born and raised here in the city of Pontiac. I was educated. I'm a 1979 graduate of Pontiac Central. I retired from this district. I did 30 years in the district. I worked as a ELA teacher, reading teacher, department head at both the high school and middle school. My credentials are, I have 2 masters in curriculum instruction leadership, masters in the art of teaching. I also have endorsement as central office and principalship, K through 12. So I know a little bit about education. I currently work at a charter school as an instructional coach, so I have afforded the ability to compare 2 school districts. I came tonight just to encourage the community, us, to get back together. I believe it's imperative that as this board continues to move the district forward, we can get our luster back. When I was educated here in Pontiac, Oakland County was the place to be. More importantly, Pontiac was the place to be. People were educated. I'm here, I didn't do bad. We have a principal here, Commissioner Angela. Powell, she was my student, so we're not doing bad. Culpability rests on all parties, all educational stakeholders, and I'm confident that the district can be restored to its luster. We can educate many are educated in this room, and we can continue to educate as long as we remember its principle, the PLE, over people.
Thank you.
Chandrika Simmons and Paul Sandy.
Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Chandrika Simmons, my husband Cornelius Simmons. We're parents in the district. I didn't expect all this today. Came from my own concerns regarding my child, who's a special needs child in the district, and some concerns that I have regarding the principal at ITA and how I was treated and how my child was treated. Again, I don't come here often, but I don't appreciate it. And I found it, just told my husband, please come here and stand by me, because I find it interesting how we're all here today, and two of the teachers that have given my special needs child an issue just attempted to get up here and speak. So I don't know anything about their contract or anything like that, but I'm gonna speak on my child. I am cool with your attorney for the board, so I know where to go when I want something quickly done and legally followed. And I thank Daryl for stepping in when the principals fell short, Principal Carafa. The incident that took place was regarding my daughter being on the 504 plan, because you don't have a IEP for ITA, so I agreed to the 504 plan for her. She is a gifted child. She is autistic on the spectrum. However, they don't treat her as such because she's a bigger child, she's very flamboyant, she does her nails, hair, and all that stuff. And they don't treat her as a special needs child or realize that she has special needs. And I didn't appreciate how he and Dr. Devison, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but how I was treated, how they cared more for Teacher Huber's feelings over my child. I didn't appreciate that at all. And I've been waiting to come. The issue has been addressed as far as her 504 plan being completed, but I've been waiting to come address the issue because I don't want it to happen to another parent who's not in a position as I am to be able to express or to be able to combat the energy that I got from this principal. I still don't understand why Principal Sturgis wasn't the principal. I don't get that at all, and why we even have him. But he don't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know the basic of his job. I don't know how he was hired, and and somebody needs to look into it. I asked a question in the email regarding who was Marissa Vanderman, whoever that was. He was CCing, never got a response. I couldn't find her anywhere on the school district's website. I would like to know who that is. Anytime somebody's corresponding with me, Marissa Vanderman, anytime somebody's corresponding with me, who it actually is on the email. And nobody answered my question, and I still have a question regarding that. But going forward, I would like for special needs kids in this district to be treated with respect, and they should be above the teachers' feelings.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paul Sandy. I'm both a teacher at ITA, but I'm here representing the teachers of the PEA as the vice president of the teachers union. We want in Pontiac to have a pay scale that rewards, not punishes teachers
Mr. Paul.
for staying in this school district.
Mr. Sandy, we're not going to talk about contract.
We want conditions that allow us to be the best of ourselves.
Sorry.
Talking about the conditions of our classrooms, the environment of our job. Teachers' working conditions are student learning conditions.
You reel the line. You're crossing it. Attorney Seegers?
He's over the line. If we're discussing wages, hours, and conditions of employment, we do that at the table. We have a meeting set for July 30th. I've offered 5 other dates in July. and they rejected, and I offered 4 other dates in August, and I think one of them we've agreed on, so
Okay.
we are
Thank you.
prepared to meet with them.
Thank you.
Carol Turpin and Heather Hunter.
I'm not a board member. I'm a citizen of Pontiac. So I just want to get that.
Can you use the mic?
Get that cleared up. So I'm speaking as a citizen in Pontiac. I did have some other things that I wanted to talk about, but they're extensive. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to send my concerns to the full board. And then you can look at them and hopefully you can get back to me. Because I don't want to be accused of grandstanding or anything like that. But I do want to talk about the fact that there's so much discussion about adults here. When are we going to have that courageous conversation about our students? Because we know that our students are not where they should be. And that's a fact. You can get angry with me saying it. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. I just think that we need to have that conversation so we can find out what the root causes are. Because, you know, when you blame one entity or one group of people, that takes the heat off of the other people. This is a community of people, and we're all working together. Everybody has a responsibility to do their jobs. I believe in accountability. I believe in trust. I believe in transparency. So when you aren't transparent, then people have the tendency to create their own narrative. So it's more important to be courageous and let the community know what's going on so that they don't have to assume or hear rumors. And oftentimes the rumors aren't truthful. They're just what they are, rumors, rumor mills. But I want to get back to our kids. I was on the board a long time. And one of the things, if anybody in this room know, if they knew me, I always advocated for students. It was never about the position. It was never about me. It was about how can we successfully educate our children. I would like to see more conversation about why our kids are not doing well. I'm not pointing the finger because I don't know the root cause. I don't know whether people have the support they need. I don't know what the culture and environment is. I don't know. Of course, wages are always a big thing, but I do know this. We have a tendency to have a high turnover on retention, and we're not able to hold on to the people sometimes that we hire. What's the root cause of that? I don't know. But in order to do better, you have to decide if you're going to dive deep and be honest and not be afraid to find out what the root causes are. Again, you know, I saw a new org chart for a district, and ironically, at the top were students. The next layer were parents. The next layer were teachers. The next layer was community. So we can kind of look at it from that perspective and be inclusive and respectful and open up that line of communication and be honest and truthful. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for public.
No, I think you said Hunter.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Ms. Hunter.
Good evening. We are not here to see you fail. We're behind you. We're the solution. We are in the trenches. We're the first men on the ground to deal with a variety of victories, trials and tribulations, and trauma. And we are getting it done. We make the difference. At ITA, we sent a kid to Harvard a few years ago and many to OU, and we're proud of that. We have many success stories. Our robotics team goes to nationals each year. Every year, down to Texas. We're getting it done. I am a proud ITA Pontiac teacher. We need to, for the children, address the size of our classrooms and how many are in there. I have about 30 fourth graders that since they rebuilt our building, they put a wall in the wrong spot. I don't have enough space for their bodies. And I appreciate everyone who's listening to me. We need the ability to retain great teachers. Each year I try to recruit new staff members. I have many here. From the charter schools in which I used to work, both in Detroit and Pontiac. I can no longer recruit them because we're not as competitive, and we're a great place to be. I love this place. I'm choosing to stay here. We're behind you.
Thank you. Is that it? All right, we will move on with our agenda. Now we have board comments and announcements. We'll start with Trustee Kraft.
I'd like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I mean, people that had good intentions, and even the ones that had bad intentions. The ones that had bad intentions got an earful tonight. And I hope we enlighten you on certain things that have been going on here. Yes, there's other stuff that's going on that you don't know about. But you're not supposed to know about because it's confidential. And we have to be gatekeepers of that. We can't run around here exposing district business. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But one thing, I have to channel my emotions. So I'm an emotional guy. Everybody know it. I was on a break right here where I was about to, break down because I was talking about I didn't have nowhere for my kids to go this summer. Because that's how I am about these kids here. The children are first. But when we put grown folk stuff in here, like I said before, that interrupts the process of the education stuff that we had put down in place. I didn't agree with the organizational change, but I was elected here to do a job and work for my kids, be here for the children of Pontiac. So as a team player, I have to be a team player. I'll roll with it. For the kids, I'll humble myself. It's not about me. I'm one of 7. But what really concerns me is that we don't have enough people stepping up to the plate to be a part of the solution. Everybody want to point a finger, say him. Be a part of the solution. Our president, in her opening statement, said, hey, there's an election coming up this year. Throw your name in the hat. If you feel like you're going to be beneficial to the district. If you're only up here for a title, fame, or to be on Facebook every week, you're in the wrong place. I have a lot of respect for these 2 guys over here. I thought, and I sat behind it, I thought the district was going in the right direction at this time. I learned a lot under Gil. Mr. Garrett, we went to Orlando, been in New Orleans, and what you guys don't know, on the national stage, he is well respected. We go in places, venues, where's 5,000 people? He's on the stage, opening up. And here he is, he can't be that same type of leader here. And that's because we got people in the community that don't have the confidence in it. This man is here, he's accountability. Police officers, guys, you know people that have that mindset of the criminal justice system, want to live that clean life. That's Gil right here. He want to clean this up here. Didn't nobody mention anything about the pool coming this in August. He's responsible for this. But that was out of ESSER dollars. That was the dollars you wanted to put in your pocket. We haven't had a pool in 30 years. And I'm keeping it 100 with you. Y'all get it together. And you people that's coming up here for contracts, if I find out you up here just for a contract, I'm going to use my 1 vote and hopefully influence somebody else and know that there's a dirty rat up in here. We're not taking it. We're not taking it, and I'm going to hold people accountable as I see it. And if you want to change it, election is November 2nd or whatever, come after me. That's it. Good night.
Trustee Gross?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to allow us to express how we feel. We continue to do so. I support you. Just send you a text, whatever you need me to do. Let's do it together. Let's move forward. Let's do it the right way, not through intimidation, not through people sending text messages and emails. Let's communicate with one another. If you get something like that in the future, talk to us. We can talk you through it. Ask anybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Garrett?
So, good meeting. Just be consistent. Like, just be who you are. I put my life on the line for this city. Now, that may not mean nothing to you because you're not from here. You don't be around here. You don't know where the space is at. You don't know any of that. You sent letters to my boss. You tried to jeopardize my livelihood. Ma'am, I'm a 27-year vet of both the district and the law enforcement agencies, both of them. My family is here. This is not just a position. I've been consistently here when it was tumbleweeds, when nobody show up. And so if we're going to deal with the issues that we have on hand, I'm not listening to an outside nobody coming here talking to me about Pontiac School District. I'm going to tell you flat out. We got elected to do this job, and nobody can do it better than we can do it. We have a comprehensive strategic action plan that's coming down the pipe that we're going to finish. I'm just asking the people who are starting all this commotion and just with no emotional intelligence at all. Just stop. You're not going to win. You don't win bullying people. You don't win trying to push an agenda from somewhere else when we have proof you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. So, me and Ms. Kellen from the same ways. Madam, I apologize. You know how we be. But y'all not gonna act like, and I say y'all, like you saints. Like you sitting over there in them schools and we know who get to work on time and who don't. Like I worked in this district, Madam President. When I'm not here, I'm working in the district. And so they can paint whatever picture they want to paint of me, but that's internet. That's not real. This is real. Black and brown kids who come to school should be educated by people who want to educate them. And as you can see, everybody ain't on the same accord. And so I'm just saying, as we go into the new school year, when we start to address issues about classroom issues of individuals who are, let's just say, not as culturally as diverse as they should be, and we ask for professional development, I expect you to go. You can't paint a picture in a room full of people because it's your first time showing up. In 3.5 years, I'm grateful for the people showing up, to be honest with you. But you got people, we have people who's supposed to be working with us, working for them. And they're going to come with threats, and they're going to come with these paper-thin lawsuits, and they gonna shoot emails to you and talk about how bad this is happening. It's not that I don't think HR shouldn't have a say. It's just that everything shouldn't funnel through HR. It was a sabotage before we got here. It was a sabotage. And so I'm just saying other people got to step up to do their job. That's all I'm saying in that fashion. But I'm grateful. We're going to do what we always do, win. What are you talking about? This is why you show up. So let's keep the communication open. This is a good start. But we're going to win. Like we always do. Like we have for the last 4.5 years. And the reason why we're not talking about students is because we didn't have great shoulders to stand on when we needed to handle the business of the district. So I'm grateful for each and every last one of you. Keep your head up. And know I'm always the first one here and last one to leave. You ain't by yourself, and we're going to do what we do. Come back.
Thank you. All right. Trustee Davis Smith.
So again, like I said earlier in the meeting, I had to make a hard decision for what I thought was the best of the district. Trustee Gross is an amazing vice president. I feel like right now we need a change from what I'm hearing from our teachers, staff, and things of that nature. So I just thought that maybe we needed a change of the dynamics. But as you heard, like we've been doing, they'll be there to help our new leaders to be successful. And I'm praying that our district does even better this school year. And again, to go back on what I've said before, we've spoke about this in board governance. I think I spoke about it on the floor as well. We do understand that when that the teachers are dealing with trauma, mental trauma with the students, as well as behavior problems before they are able to even teach the students. I've saw that by visiting. I know you guys probably have some type of trauma when you go home from, dealing with the situations. I've been in a couple schools where I left and had to woosah because, and I just can't imagine you guys dealing with it on a daily basis. As being a former bus driver, we the first ones to see the students and the last ones for them to go home. When they come on in the morning, sometimes we see that trauma that you guys deal with. When they're leaving, we see that energy that they, can't sit down and things like that. So I understand what you guys are going through. And I just want you to know that this entire board is there to support you guys. I've witnessed that in, by us going to different conferences and things like that. The things that we deal with is like a piece of cake compared to what I see other districts are dealing with. And I just want you guys to know that we are here for you. Like I said, my kids came from this district. I came from this district. I feel like we're successful from being in this district. I didn't go back to college until my sons were, my stepchildren as well, were finished with school so I can have time to go to school. And because of the teachers that I did have, they drilled into me, I was able to be on the dean's list. So that shows what a Pontiac school district, education can do for someone. I've had my own food truck for over 10 years. I have a business it'll be 4 years next week, brick and mortar. And without an education, there's no way that I can keep going. I got to figure out, it's math. I'm a baker, so like I teach students. Baking is not just reading ingredients. It's math, it's science, it's all of those things. And so I just want to applaud you guys, every staff, like even our from, it takes everybody to make this district run. So it's our parapros, it's our teachers, it's our principals, it's our food service, it's our janitor staff, it's our bus drivers. And when I say that a lot of people go beyond of what we see, I see teachers, I see staff, I see bus drivers. I had to quit because my husband said I was giving too much to the students, where I could have made $10 an hour and brought home more than I was bringing home as a bus driver. So I see a lot of people in the district doing more than their share to make sure that our students are safe, that they are learning, that they are taken care of. And so I thank you guys, and hopefully that we can continue to work together to make this a great district as we once were. Thank you. Good night. Oh, sorry, y'all. Read to y'all kids this summer. Make sure that y'all still in there with them.
Thank you. All right, VP Bowman.
Good evening, everyone. I myself am a product of Pontiac. My first school was Robert Frost Elementary, Franklin Elementary, Lincoln Junior High, Pontiac Central. Go Chiefs. What I will say is this: it's been an absolute pleasure growing up in this community, going to school in this community, living in this community. And I'm honored and grateful that the residents who chose to vote elect us into these seats. We sit up here, and sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes it's very enjoyable to get to know different people and their counterparts. I do realize that there's a lot of trauma and things that we have within our community, and everyone likes to say, well, Pontiac School District, what are we doing? It's not a district problem. We have a community problem. It's not just in the classroom, it's in the entire community where we have to come together. We have to work together no matter whether we're in the district, whether we're in the city, when we're walking down the street. We have to look after each other. Because if we don't look after each other, who else is going to do it? Because we know at the end of the day, people outside of Pontiac who does not love this community treat it like it's scourge. We hear the name Pontiac and some make faces and, oh, how dare you? This is a wonderful community to live in. We have our problems. We have our fair share of problems. But at the end of the day, we are a community that sticks together. We work together and we fight hard together for our students. I thank each and every one of you here. I'm so grateful for our parents, for our teachers, for our staff, our administrators, our janitors, because we can't do it by ourselves. We all have to work together. People like to say that there's a hierarchy. No, we're all servants of people. We're here to serve. That's it. We're here to serve. If any one of us was elected, because I would say it at that dais next door, we're here to serve the community. At the end of the day, when I sat there, I don't have any complaints about where I serve on the board. I'm grateful to be on the board. I'm grateful to be a voice for my community. I'm grateful to be able to sit here and say, Pontiac, we got this together. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to rise in spite of whatever anybody has to say. No matter what anybody thinks of decisions that I make, my personal decisions. Not meant to discredit anybody, offend anybody. And I do understand when people make statements about men, black men, and once you hit a certain size cap, the intimidation word and things like that is thrown around. But how often, even standing up, all of these people sitting down, I'm probably at eye level with them. Nobody takes the time to think what may be intimidating to a smaller person. I'm not putting anything out there about anybody and their personal things, but just remember, that we all have different walks. We all have different perspectives. We all stand at different levels. I just so happen to stand a whopping 4'8". And at the end of the day, I want us to continue to work together. Don't allow one thing that you don't like a person did to change your total perspective on someone's character. One decision doesn't impact my character. I just had to stand up for what I felt was right. That don't take away from how I feel about you, Kevin or Gil. Y'all great guys. But at the end of the day, just to pivot a little, however, we got to continue to work together with all of my trustees. Trustee Kraft, even though Trustee Terry isn't here, Trustee Davis Smith, and Trustee Hannah. I appreciate you all, and I hope that we continue to forge ahead and make the best decisions for this community. Thank you so much. Good night.
No, you ain't never been intimidated by us.
All right.
No, that's what I said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take your time. Take your time. You'll be fine. Take your time. You will be.
Okay. We're moving forward. We got work to do. As I stated in the beginning, we are here to serve students. And every single student in this Pontiac community deserves a quality education. It shouldn't be halted by adult issues. So how we move forward and what we do, it matters, but we need this type of support. Thank you. There's so many great things happening in the Pontiac School District, and so many people don't even know about it. But they quick to want to hear about what's wrong. They quick to want to hear about the drama, the mess. And as leaders, it's our job to dispel all of that and stay focused on what's most important, and that's the education of our students. And that's why we're here. So again, I thank you for being here. We hear you. I thank the support of the community for standing up. If we don't know what the concerns or issues are, we can't address them. So you need to bring them to our attention so that they could be addressed. We're going to continue building on the good things that are happening in this district, and we're not going to fall short or just become distracted by all of the negatives. So again, I just want to tell you that, yes, as all of my trustees have said, it's business, and our first priority is our students. It's nothing personal. And so if this is what needed to be done so that we can keep that focus, then that's what we're going to do. And in dealing with our students and making sure we have to make sure that we support our administrators, our teachers, and our staff. And that's what we're going to do as well. So again, I just say thank you for your support. Thank you for being here, and let's continue to move this district forward. And with that, I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Support. Where's my microphone?
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
VP Bowman, supported. Roll call, please.
President Hannah,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
Trustee Davis, yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes, ma'am.
and Trustee Gross.
Thank you. At 8:29 PM.